Whoa, it's a fish guy.
Hello, sir or madam. May I have a moment to talk with you about the Book of Mormon?
A fish person wants to talk to me about Mormonism?
Oh, so you've heard of it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool book. And it teaches you important things. Like, it tells you not to kill people. And I mean, like, I already knew that before reading this part, but like, if I didn't know that part, I'd really want to know that part.
Where did you come from?
According to this book, I know it's at the beginning part. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Genesis 2:7. But I think that's just like talking about humans. I'm not sure if I came from dust. I'd imagine I came from something more moist, like mud or algae.
Well, sure, but I mean, are you an alien from outer space or from deep underground in the ocean?
I'm not sure about either of those. I came here from the church a town over, and they say to go door to door for 2 years to be an upstanding member of the church, and you're the first person to not shut the door in my face.
Well, that's sad. I think some people are too quick to judge. If I'm being honest, I was a tad afraid too. I'm sorry about that.
Wait, I have something bookmarked for this. And then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his garments by casting lots? This Jesus guy is like the main character, but it takes a while for him to show up. But when he does, the book gets real good. My friend Rose says that there's like some movie versions based off the book, but that they aren't as good. But she reads a lot, and a lot of people who read say that kind of thing, so I don't know.
She sounds smart.
She is. She's real nice too. She gave me this place to stay and everything, and Little Debbie's. And this book?
Why don't you come inside for some ginger ale?
Wait, so are you a Mormon?
I'm afraid so. My whole family is. Sorry for wasting your time.
Oh no, it's cool. Maybe you can help me read this. I still haven't finished it. It's like, by far the biggest book I've ever read. Or at least, I'm trying to read it.
Welcome to the Fear Fiction Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-whore Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to the subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Resident Evil 7.
No.
We're doing a plug?
No, we're doing a cold open.
We're doing a plug for something that is old?
Old?
It's
Like
old.
us?
It came out 2 years ago.
Oh my god.
There's been
3 years
27 FNAF since then.
True facts. No, Resident Evil 7. I was talking with my friend who is a really big Resident Evil fanatic.
Yeah, me.
And he said, he rendered an opinion, he opined, that while Resident Evil 7 is a good game, it should not be part of the Resident Evil canon.
That does sound like Dead Palette.
It should be its...
What? No.
It should be its own story. Because, and I kind of agree with him, because the best parts of the game have nothing to do with Umbrella or zombies or what have you, and everything contained on the little farm that is the Louisiana Baker Estate is fantastic. And then you get to this boat, and you get to these conspiracies and these corporate espionage, and it just kind of becomes a Resident Evil game. And for me personally, kind of lost me.
But here's counterpoint. every Resident Evil game does that.
But how many Resident Evil games had not zombies and that much of a claustrophobic
4, 5, 6.
Did they?
Didn't have zombies. Well, 6 had zombies, but only in the Leon campaign.
What did 4 have?
4 had Ganados.
Number 4 had Halloween masks that released insects and snakes when you watched the special television commercial.
I wish. What did 5 have?
5 had another infection, the Ouroboros.
Oh, fuck.
But were they as claustrophobic as just this one little farmhouse?
4 was claustrophobic.
4 was a village.
5 was claustrophobic in parts.
I would disagree that they were still bigger in scope than 7. I don't know. I hold 7 to such a higher standard than 4 and 5.
That you are quite alone in that opinion.
I'm not the biggest RE aficionado, and I admit that. But I kind of agree with my friend's take, and he is a huge RE fan.
Did you play the old games?
I played 1 and 4 and 7, so I don't have a lot of exposure to it, but those are the ones I played.
So can we at least all agree, if we can't agree on whether or not it's the best game, whether it should be part of the canon, whatever, can we all at least agree that Resident Evil 7 would have theoretically worked better as a Full House game?
It arguably is a Full House game.
Yeah, well that's the thing, if you just had, instead of the young girl, being, one character, you could have had her be, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, The father could have been Bob Shrek, whatever his name is.
Bob Shrek.
What's the father? Steven Soderbergh. Bob Saget. Yeah.
Bob Shrek.
Yeah, Bob Shrek.
How about instead of doing that, we get Family Matters.
Oh God! Do you ever see that Key and Peele sketch about Family Matters?
No.
No, I didn't.
All you need to know about it is it basically portrays Steve Urkel exactly like the young girl from Resident Evil 7.
Oh, God.
But, yeah. Speaking of games, have you guys seen the creators of Bendy and the Ink Machine now have a game where you're on a puppet show? That's haunted.
A puppet show. Yeah. A haunted puppet show.
A haunted puppet show. It's about cowboys, though, not pirates.
Here's the thing.
What do you mean? Where are pirates coming from? What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm not alleging anything. No.
Here's the thing, Slimebeast. I disagree with you on your assertion that Bendy and the Ink Machine is a ripoff of Abandoned by Disney.
Well, you also think that Resident Evil 7 is the best Resident Evil game.
I didn't say it was the best. I'm saying it perhaps should not fit in the canon.
I like how you framed that whole thing as my friend said that this game shouldn't be part of the canon. Like, fucking okay, sure, your friend.
Okay, I agree with them because
quote unquote your quote unquote friend, Abysmii,
who lives in South Carolina. I disagree with you, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't believe. The friends of Slimebeast disagree with him and are not just blind followers. Oh my God!
Pardon me.
I would disagree with you on that Bendy and the Ink Machine is an Abandoned by Disney ripoff.
Okay.
But I have not seen enough of whatever this new game you're talking about to render the same opinion.
So
I will go look into it.
I don't think that Bendy and the Ink Machine is a ripoff. I think this is a typical thing where I have to put the disclaimer out there for everybody who has a disclaimer. Saying that I think something just means I think it. It doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's true.
You think it rather strongly, though.
I think it was inspired by the certain tropes that surround Abandoned by Disney. Maybe not specifically the story, but maybe Five Nights at Treasure Island, different shit like that sort of is out there.
We have to drop the thing of it's Abandoned by Disney. We're theorizing that it's jokes aside, Candle Cove. We gotta be direct.
Oh, that's true.
I want to look into it and see if I can draw the same conclusion, because I'm not saying one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, the second, for anybody who's not following, there was a game called Bendy and the Ink Machine, which is about an abandoned Disney, but not really Disney, studio where somebody goes there and they're chased by the mascot, and there's a lot of yellow goop everywhere, and, different things like that. Now, I don't think that's a ripoff of Abandoned by Disney. I think it probably was. It's sort of like in a circle of things that are similar, maybe because of tropes and things that are related and inspired by. But who knows? Maybe not. But if you're still not following on the second thing, there's a new game out from the same makers where you are on a haunted puppet show in the Wild West, and it doesn't really seem like a ripoff of Candle Cove. It just seems like, to me personally, if you follow the thread of the previous game, I'm thinking maybe it's inspired somewhat by, that those types of tropes and, things that
maybe
came out of Candle Cove. The end.
So what you're saying is
it's called Candle Saloon, and
so what you're saying is the creators of this game basically saw the downfall of Channel Zero and said, you know what, we can capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so what are we reading? Is something related to all these things we're talking about?
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. Fleming Storage Unit number 23, Sentimental Scrapbook.
Final version.
Rika 84.
Is this Paprika?
Oh, Rika.
No.
But is that her username?
No.
Her real name
is Paprika.
Her real name is Paprika.
I was about to go yell at her if we were reading her story.
Her username is Rika84, her name and her age.
And her smell. She Rikas.
God damn it. That's terrible.
We made jokes about needing to descale Chelsea. I think we're fine.
We also, well, not we, I guess kind of by extension we, but Brandon mostly called Chelsea a dumb lesbian. So
No. She is a lesbian of low intellect, or a lolly.
Mm-hmm. We need to come up with an acronym for Paprika. Abysmii, go.
It's going to be TERF.
TERF?
Here we go. A terrifying engineer.
And
really
radical feminist.
Radical feminist. Yeah, radical feminist.
There you go. Just TERF, but without the first term. I think, let's see, if Chelsea is a lolly, then how can we make up one for Paprika that spells out Futa? Friendly urban transit associate? I don't know.
No.
Oh God. Anyway, Fleming Storage.
How about simp?
Simp.
Super intelligent, masculine.
Penis?
Shit. Penis. There we go.
Super intelligent masculine penis. That sounds like a cable show from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, so what do we?
That it's not funny.
Yeah. So what are we doing?
Fleming Storage Unit number 2023. This has already been a weird cold open. So let's not re-explain what the fuck the Fleming Storage Unit says. If you didn't click off of that shit, you know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And so, in parentheses, it says Final Virgin, which I guess, is that the main character of this, the Final Virgin?
Absolutely.
You know it's going to be one of those weeks when your grandmother calls you up screaming about a dead body. Yep.
Yes.
Her own.
Yeah.
What?
Listen, I'm dead. Shit.
Richie!
Graham.
Richie, I got terrible news, sweetheart. Oh, baby, you're gonna hate to hear this. I died this morning. Yeah, Dr. Patel said that I'm dead.
She's getting a bit senile on her. Yeah. And even before, she had a tendency to focus on the wrong details. Maybe not the wrong ones, but the details that were most important to her.
Like death.
The phone call itself was all body this, an investigation that. Of course I don't know what's in your grandfather's storage unit. Who cares? Somebody died. An 8-hour drive later, I prayed for no surprises as I opened Unit 23.
Just fly. Don't drive 8 hours. It's not worth it. At that point, you're spending the same amount on gas.
I like the idea that people say, well, it's safer to fly than drive because more people die in car crashes. It's like, yeah, but they didn't scream for 15 minutes as they fell out of the fucking sky, dude.
I'd be okay with going for the ride.
Depends. If I can make a trip out of it and have some fun, sure. But you're going to fucking Haver, Montana. You're not going to Niagara Falls.
I mean, if I'm going to die, I would rather fall out of the plane.
Oh.
I like the
That's
idea
what
that
I mean by trip.
you're falling out of a plane. It's not that the plane is crashing. You're falling out. You're dead, Bart, DP.
Oh no, I jumped out. It was musty. There was an odor that stale only begins to describe. An urgent discomfort began to set in as I scanned the floor of the unit. As I shone my flashlight beneath a bed frame, my eyes rested on some dry-looking clump of straw.
Uh-oh.
The longer I looked at it, though, the less it looked like plant matter. After a few moments, my brain allowed me to distinguish a rodent's face. Oh no.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, wasn't my hair come off?
Oh gosh, Abysmii, what do you think? Do you think that line is from Abandoned by Disney or no? Shit, I chattered through clenched teeth as I stiffly power walked up the pavement. Boy, if I had a nickel. The flashlight batteries rattled with each 45-degree swing of my arm. I strode up to the nearest police officer with a rigid smile. You're officer?
Legend has it if you go down to any road in certain states, you can see at 3 o'clock in the morning Slimebeast power walking up the pavement.
Yep. Happy. I have a rigid smile. I'm happy. All right.
Can I help you? She asked. There is a dead thing, animal. I breathe healthily. Haltingly?
Anne Hathaway.
Haltingly. Anne Hathaway. I can't do that. I was pointing in the direction of Unit 23 as the gesture communicated something more than I could spit out.
Okay, so we know that our protag has a thing about dead animals. It's good.
Typical millennial. It's a dead animal. I can't even right now.
Oh my god, I can't even. Animal cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
She nodded
I'm
knowingly.
I'm gonna need to get some chicken tendies to feel better about this.
About the dead rat.
Yeah.
She nodded knowingly and angry. I'll be right there. 3 minutes later, she met me at the unit with a shovel. That's kind of overkill, but all right.
She went to her squad car, pulled out the standard issue shovel.
Standard issue cop shovel.
It has a little like light on the end of it, on the end of the shovel.
It's got a sheriff's badge emblazoned on the shovel part.
Officer Shovel, you're a loose shovel.
Your shovel and your shovel.
Yes.
I watched from the doorway.
Boss, I need to dig up crime. Anyway,
damn it.
Fuck off.
I watched from the doorway as she pried the long dead thing from the concrete. It crackled like styrofoam as it tore free.
Ooh.
I held my breath as she carried it out and tipped into a nearby metal trash can. Nearby metal trash can. She replaced the lid and gave me a thumbs up before leaving me. I breathed again. Why does she always leave me?
She gave me a thumbs up using the rat's little paw. The rest of... What would you do if you find a dead, emaciated rat in the back of your shed, and it's leaning against the back wall sitting upright with 2 thumbs up? What would you think?
Slimebeast, what would you do if you went home and there was like just tons of dead rats in your house and nothing but thumbs up?
Just a bunch of dead rats. Okay, Abysmii, what would you do if you woke up in the morning, you stepped out of bed, you look around your room, there's a bunch of rats, they're all living rats up on your shelves, down on your floor, under everything, and they all look at you all in unison, right? And they all slowly raise their little paws, give you a thumbs up. What would you do?
What would you do if everyone you knew at the grocery store were a bunch of giant human-sized rats and they just gave you thumbs up as you tried to buy groceries?
Abysmii, what would you do? What would you do if Donald Trump and Joe Biden lost the 2020 election to a rodent that was a write-in? A rodent write-in. Just this really cool rodent in sunglasses who gives a thumbs up as he rides a surfboard.
I'd fucking kill myself.
Write-in rodent? He's just write-in rodent.
Hey kids, it's me, write-in rodent.
I hate to say it because I enjoy them a lot, but that is every Oni Plays episode right there.
Yeah.
No,
Funny
what would you
characters.
guys do if you went into an Italian restaurant and ordered genuine Italian cuisine, and it turns out that it was made by a rodent, and it's like compliments to the chef, and he comes out and it's a rat, and he gives you a thumbs up.
Abysmii, should we let DP be part of this, or should we ostracize him?
Let's ostracize. That's more fun.
All right, DP, that wasn't funny. All right. Is this me now or what?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh god, the rest of the unit looked clean enough, so I refocused myself to the task at hand. My grandparents have lived in Haver all their lives. My mom isn't very close to them. Okay. Did I say parents or grandparents?
Parents.
Oh. My grandparents haven't lived in Haver all... Fuck! My grandparents are dead! There, I've edited your story. Mom isn't very close to them because they're dead. She left Montana to find herself at 18 and never looked back. I met my grandparents a few times growing up even though they were dead. But only recently. They were giving thumbs up seated up in the corner.
Brandon, what would you do if your grandparents were dead when you met them?
And they gave me a thumbs up?
But, fuck. I don't get this. I'm going through all the family albums and my grandparents are dead in every picture and giving thumbs up. Even when they were little kids in these old black and white photos, they're dead with giving thumbs up. What the fuck? I met my grandparents a few times growing up, but only recently have I gotten to know them better. 2 years ago, Grandpa's aging body began to fail him, oh no, and he needed to be moved to a skilled nursing facility. I like to think the nurses are all just really good at, like, Valorant.
Yeah.
Like playing it.
No, I like the idea that there's a tombstone and it just says skilled nursing facility and they dump them in there.
God damn it. Oh, God. People don't like this mass grave thing. What do we do to rebrand it? How about skilled nursing facility? What? Dirt nurses. Grandma was slow. Oh, what if okay, Abysmii, what would you do if you went to the graveyard and you saw a gravedigger there and he was gluing little nurse hats onto the worms?
I would question his ability to do his proper job.
Well, what if he said to you, what if he was like, this is so we can list the graveyard as a nursing care facility for the elderly?
I would say that's fraud.
What if he said, no, that's frog, and he produces a frog from his overalls? And the frog has a little cigar and like a buzz cut, and he goes, What do you need? Why am I out here? What's going on? What'd you call me for? You, Abysmii, you, right there. What'd you need? What'd you do?
I would question my sanity.
Grandma was slowing down herself, and she wasn't confident about handling the household affairs alone. So she reached out to the oldest granddaughter, me, for help. I drove up from Spokane and moved them into suitable apartments. Welcome to suitable apartments. They're okay. I sold the house, sold some stuff, closed some credit cards, called some lawyers, drank some milk, ate a burrito, killed a man, and so on. At least I'll be a pro at this by the time my parents get old.
I'm trying to get to be a pro in moving people into nursing homes.
Well, it's not nursing homes, it's an apartment.
Yeah, suitable, well, skilled nursing facility, though.
Listen,
Yeah.
aren't apartments just nursing homes for average people? I mean, somebody comes, takes care of all your shit for you, you know?
When you think about it. And yet, through the whole process, nobody mentioned the storage unit. I don't think Grandma even knew about it. It was tied to Grandpa's checking account, which he wouldn't let me touch. And it took us nearly an hour to find the key and the paperwork. Because of that lengthy search, combined with a long drive before that, it was a quarter after 5 by the time I got to Unit 23. I only had time to look around and assess the situation before closing.
Ooh.
Why do you think the grandpa wouldn't let her into the checking account?
I don't like women touching money.
Grandpa, what are all these purchases of Gamer Girl bathwater? What? I'm
The
not
scent
a simp.
rejuvenates the skin.
I'm not a simp. Oh God, I'm a simp. Oh no, how did it end up like this?
I'm sorry, honey.
And listen, it's for OnlyFans.
God damn it. Fortunately, the unit wasn't very packed. The largest item inside, which caught my eye immediately, was a wooden twin-sized bed frame. I doubted my grandparents would want to keep it unless it carried some huge sentimental value.
Lying on the bed were 2 giant rats giving the thumbs up.
They said, okay, you can sell us. Everything else in the unit was boxed up. The boxes would just about fit in my car. It was a relief to think I could get through this without a rental truck. The boxes were unlabeled. I grabbed the nearest one to take with me. I had to start somewhere.
Can we have new merch for the podcast? A t-shirt with a picture of a dead rat giving the thumbs up, and the motto under it is, you can sell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Because that will make sense to absolutely fucking nobody.
That evening, I settled into my room on the ground floor of the Siesta Motel, racist. It wasn't a palace, racist, but anything was preferable to folding myself onto Grandma's couch for a week.
That is fully Grandma.
When
Grandma, I need the bed, so I'm just going to have to kind of fold you up onto the couch.
Now, Grandma, we could only afford a child-sized casket. We're going to have to fold you up. We're going to have to make you into an origami.
Origami.
God damn it.
Look, she's a bird now. It's what she would have always wanted.
Oh, yeah, she's a bird now, right? She's always been a bird.
God damn it. Whew. When I felt as mentally prepared as I was going to be, I set the box on the bed and opened it up. Now, this is a new paragraph, so I'm stopping.
Yeah, no, take it.
What? How dare you?
Okay.
Clothes. It was a box full of clothes, neatly folded and tightly packed, just like Grandma when I put her in the casket.
God damn it.
That seemed normal with her.
Don't describe your grandma as tightly packed.
Is that how you flirt with women at bars? You just go up to your friend, it's like, man, you see that girl over there? Yeah, bro, she's nicely packed.
Yeah.
Slimebeast, what if you, when you went to a bar and you like found this really hot chick and you were like totally into each other and she was like, come back with me to my place, and she leads you back, and then she says, are you down for a threesome? You're like, obviously, that would be awesome. And then when she takes you for the threesome, there's this giant dead rat giving you the thumbs up.
Is the rat male or female?
Yes.
Okay. So the question is, what would I do?
What would you do?
I would leave her behind, run away with the dead rat, of course. Abysmii, what would you do if you went into work tomorrow as a lawyer and your boss was like, we have a very special client. We have a very special client you need to meet, okay? He's very rich, very powerful, very important person. You go to meet with the client. It's in the secluded room, you alone with this very powerful client you've never seen before, never heard of. They say his name is Rado Ratskinski, right? And you're like, it sounds interesting. So, I want to meet this guy, move or shaker. You go in the room, you meet with him. He's a normal guy. Completely normal. Completely average person, right? But halfway through the meeting, he takes a dead rat, takes a thumbs up out of his pocket, bites its head off, and just starts eating it. What would you do?
Here's the problem. It's a wonderful hypothetical, but I'm not a lawyer, so I can't answer any of it.
Well, in this hypothetical, you're a lawyer, so go ahead.
I would continue to ask what his case is and what we can do for him, because the eating of the dead rat part has nothing to do with his case.
Okay, he says to you, I went to a restaurant and I found some food in my rat.
I would say you don't have a case because restaurants advertise food and not dead rats.
What if he says it was a new restaurant? It's called Rat King.
I would say, what part of Little Tokyo are you going to?
Oh, what if he said you were racist and you got fired?
Well, then I'm fired.
Okay, so you get fired, you go on the unemployment line, entire unemployment line, all dead rats giving the thumbs up, waiting in a big long line. Behind the counter, they're all waiting to talk to somebody, but it's just a dead rat giving a thumbs up, line's not moving.
This is like fucking Flatland, but it's just dead rat with thumbs up land.
This is so stupid. Change this, move on. This is dumb. Dead pack rat, please go.
It's good. It's a good story so far.
So far, it's fine, yeah.
I like the dead rats.
Sorry for not reading a story of fucking derailing it with rats. We are the rats. That seemed normal enough. But whose clothes were these?
They looked about the size of
about the size of a young adult's. Mm-hmm. T-shirts, jeans, a few formal shirts. They might have been trendy a few decades ago.
Which means Blink 182.
Now.
Blink 182 on the front. Go ahead, sorry.
These were my mother's. They looked a bit masculine, but that wouldn't be out of character for her.
Because she was a man.
A very feminine man.
Yeah.
I looked at the tags on some of the nicer garments. They were some boutique brand I had never heard of.
Forever 21.
Bet they were Bet they cost a pretty penny.
Oh, so they're Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were still probably worth a few bucks too, as they looked like they had hardly been worn. It was possible these were left behind when Mom moved out. But why keep these, deciding it was nothing worth losing sleep over? I turned in for the night.
All right.
I do love that all of these fucking goddamn stories, these stupid stories, I don't know who asked people to write them. I love how all of them just have like, well, that's some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking tired.
Anyway.
They just
Yeah.
always go home.
It's fucking
Go to-
millennials, you know?
We're all fucking tired and depressed and just like, we just need to play Animal Crossing.
Mm.
I woke up too early Wednesday morning, but I didn't mind because I'm a millennial.
Mhm.
I curled up with my Kindle and
Yeah.
flipped through my collection of public domain classics for a few hours.
Don't even fucking purchase. Okay, you don't buy.
fucking
all right,
fucking
whatever.
hipster.
Millennials are
public
killing the
domain.
ebook industry by reading public domain stories.
Millennials. They're killing Disney because they only watch public domain classics.
Millennials are killing the ebook industry by reading traditional books.
God damn it.
Around 9:30, I started my day by heading out to Marg Madness for a breakfast burrito. It burned my tongue, but warmed my soul. Then it was back to Unit 23. New paragraph.
If I have to hear about Marg Madness one more fucking time,
Oh no, it's a small town with only a certain amount of restaurants.
holy shit. The boxes and bed frame were as I had left them. In the daylight, I noticed a collection of cleaning supplies resting behind the bed. A push broom, a mop and bucket, officer shovel, a pile of rags. Boy, that's the real travesty here. That's the hidden Holocaust, is officer shovel being forgotten in lieu of a dead rat giving a thumbs up. A pile of rags and a half-full jug of Clorox bleach were soon on the floor of my car's back seat. I had intended...
Mama's got the magic Clorox bleach.
It's funny you would sing, because I was thinking that sounded like a really bad Miley Cyrus song, like Clorox bleach were soon on the floor of my car's back seat. It just sounds, something about that sounds musical, but terrible.
Mama's got to bleach the back car seat.
Mama's got a penis. I had intended to spend the rest of the morning cramming the boxes into the car. But the next box I happened to grab stopped me in my tracks. It was heavy and packed with papers. Lying on top was a scrapbook. The title item. The title.
You can't just drop "Mama's got a penis" and not dwell on that.
Mama's got a penis. End of
Mama's
commercial.
got a penis.
The scrapbook wasn't very large, and it wasn't very fancy, just like Mama's penis. The cover was a factory-perfect arboreal design I was sure I had seen at several drugstores before. Its contents, though, were anything but familiar. Between the covers were pages and pages of photos of my grandparents with kids and young adults I'd never seen. They were school assignments, artwork, letters, and pressed trinkets throughout. Puzzled, I pulled a few of the papers from the box. Several of them were on letterhead reading Montana DHHS,
Ooh.
Child and Family Services.
Department of Health and Human Services.
So, are these foster kids?
Maybe, or they are records containing or regarding separation, abuse. It could be anything from DHHS. My mouth hung open in wonder. I couldn't pick a single question out of the dozens buzzing around my mind. These boxes could wait. I needed to talk to Grandma.
Grandma, what does DHHS stand for? I demanded.
Damn, hun.
I needed to talk to Grandma, and that was going to be annoying because I had to go get Officer Shovel to unbury her.
Yeah. DHHS, damn hun, hung schlong. Alright, she opened the door with the same agitated energy I had come to expect. My goodness, dearie, you could have called. Not that I wasn't expecting to see you again. You're in town, after all. But I have nothing ready. All I have is milk. Would you like some milk? But you should have called, dear. Yeah. That's my agitated grandma impression.
No, not good enough.
Sure.
I took a seat on the couch and let Grandma fuss for a while. I learned that it was the best course of action. Whatever was on Grandma's mind is the story of the hour, no matter how trivial. Let me tell you about how 222 ruined Overwatch.
Oh.
I haven't played in months.
In order to make sure that people had more fun and they would wait less long times in the queue for DPS, they added a new DPS. Everybody would queue up to play.
I wanted to download Warcraft 3 Reforged, but it's just not the same game I remember.
It hits different, sweetheart.
Yeah. She would hear of nothing else until she was through. Grandma found some lemonade. She found it?
Yeah.
And so she made a picture of lemonade. She find it or make it. Figure it out, story.
Which one is it?
She found it. She found some lemonade on a tree out back. It's a lengthy process, but eventually she made lemonade.
Mama's got the power of lemonade trees.
Mom was putting lemon juice in your eyes.
She brought me a glass of lemonade, and oh, how I did like the lemonade.
What?
How did I like the lemonade?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird sentence. And boy, how I liked the lemonade, or something. Boy, howdy. I don't know.
Oh, wait, no. It continues on here. Let me shed some light on this. How did I like the lemonade, ? You tell me, Reddit. So anyway, I might write part 2 later.
Let me know if I like the lemonade.
Somebody out there, please, write a no-sleep story where the crux of it is asking No Sleep to tell you if you liked the lemonade in the comments
Chuck
below.
some fucking cryptids in it before then, just so it gets past the censors, and yeah, you're golden.
The Wendigo in the lemon tree field. I don't know, lemon orchard.
Mom has got the power of lemon buckets. After I assured her several times that I loved the lemonade, Grandma asked me how things were.
As I brought the scrapbook into view, her whole demeanor changed.
Ugh.
Grandma mellowed.
What the fuck is that, dear?
What?
That's not milk or lemonade.
Grandma mellowed and unbusied
I'm sorry.
her hands. No, go for it.
All I've got is milk, but I found some lemonade. Around the corner is where the fudge is made.
Stick your finger up the hole, and then you get a Tootsie Roll.
God damn it.
Grandma mellowed and unbusied her hands. Well now, she said gently, taking the book from me. It was the shortest phrase I'd ever heard from her. She ran her hands over the cover as she thought about where to begin.
Where do I begin? When your mother moved... Oh, I'm sorry. When your mother moved out as suddenly as she did, your grandpa and I felt, well, at a loss. We were still young. The empty nester life didn't suit us. So we decided to be foster parents. We expected it to be difficult, but... She smiled thoughtfully.
We sold all those kids into white slavery.
Yes. Who knows where they are now? I think I saw one working as a bag boy at Walmart. She smiled thoughtfully. Can you stop meowing? Why are you meowing? Why? Why? All right. We expected it to be difficult, but, she smiled thoughtfully, your mother had prepared us for that, so we thought. As it turned out, we had so many good kids, much better than your fucking dumbass mother. What a bitch. Doesn't say that.
But it could. She began the tour of the scrapbook. This is Roger. He was 11 when he came to us. An olive-skinned boy with a curly mop of hair, posed with Grandma next to a replica of the Thinker. That, as in, like, the statue.
No.
Yeah.
His pages were full of drawings on notebook paper and copy paper. And Amy, she said, turning the page, she was in foster care for nearly all her life, but didn't stay with us long. I think we left an impression, though.
She had such a wonderful sense of humor. I know that she's going to be a stand-up comedian someday.
Oh, God damn it. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed teenage girl lay on the hospital bed with a newborn. My grandparents were at their side. The photo was followed by 7 postcards spanning several years and a few baby pictures.
So this is a good setup so far. I'm immediately wondering what happens to these kids. Are the grandparents involved? There has to be something nefarious going on.
Well, it's a horror story.
Yeah.
If it didn't have the paperwork already that was from the DHHS, I would be hardcore assuming right now that they just kidnapped kids.
Right.
It's like,
right,
well, we had the empty nest, so we took in children, you know. But since it had the paperwork in the beginning, oh well.
Then there was Miles. Poor dear. He came from such a bad situation. Anyway, it was such a treat to watch him come out of his shell. Over the course of 3 pages, the little boy with the dark complexion gradually showed more of his face and his smile.
He got lighter? What? No.
He got a vitiligo. There was a small pressed bouquet of clovers next to a handmade card on pink construction paper.
Grandma heaved a sigh as she turned the page. And Jeremy. The classic moody white teenage boy with a beanie pulled far down on his forehead. He spoke in class one day. No. 2 pages, 2 photos, and an obituary. Oh, here we go. I held my breath and looked up at Grandma. He was a small rat who liked giving thumbs-ups. What?
God damn it.
He liked computers and liked his Atari. Wow, how far back is that? Are you surprised that I remember Atari? Well, she sucked her lip for a moment. There's something about tragedy, dear. You remember things.
You remember that your grandmother was a pro gamer.
Yes. I was no-scoping noobs in Pong before you were born.
They shut me down after too many pro gamer moments I had. It's quite embarrassing.
Grandma has a heated gamer moment.
Playing what, Galaga?
Fucking wet burritos. I'm sorry, I stammered. I didn't mean to stir up any bad memories. No, dear, I'm very glad to see this again. But someone is missing. She ran her hand over an empty page that hadn't always been blank. Where is Sean? Grandma stood and held her... sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Grandma stood and angry and was a rat and gave a thumbs up.
Should we just go play Vermintide? Because...
Does Vermintide have emotes? Can you give thumbs up?
I think so.
Oh.
Grandma stood up and held her hand to say, wait. She made the trek to her bedroom and back, returning with a slightly wrinkled 4x6 photo. She tucked it into the book. Sean was a tall, pale boy with long black hair and a ponytail. I recognized the dress shirt he wore.
Ah, so it's his clothes in the storage unit.
And he is Jeff the Killer.
Bum. Sean the Shiller. He's a YouTuber.
Sean the Gamer.
Seamus
Listen,
the
guys,
Gamus.
If you're enjoying this, me killing you with a knife, remember to hit that subscribe button and also check out Lootbox.
So let's see here. The grandpa has this kid Sean's clothes at the unit and removed his picture from the book. So that's our clue so far as to what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't sugarcoat it, dear, she began again. With Sean, well, it was bad, but no less deserving of remembrance. After Jeremy, we took a break from fostering. Grandpa took it hard. He was never really cheerful again. He turned bitter. Sometimes he would talk down the whole thing. We should never have taken them in, or never got a thing out of it. Now I knew that was just hurt talk, and I think he did too. After a year or so of healing, I convinced him to give it another chance, and that next chance was Sean. Honestly, there's not much to tell. Sean was an angry young man. The house was noisy for weeks. One day, well, I guess it was more than I could handle. I landed in the hospital for a few weeks. Grandpa said it was a massive heart attack. Sean was gone before I came home, and that was that. It was time to take care of ourselves for a while. Grandpa kill Sean?
Grandpa killed Sean! I could see him a mile away! Hey, Biden! Grandpa killed Sean!
Now listen, you can keep your foster kids, but you can't kill them if you don't like them.
Can keep them in a wooden box? So I want to congratulate the author of the story, Rika86, because you, in that paragraph right there, you pulled us back from all the dead rat shenanigans and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And we all just listened to Abysmii read the paragraph to try to see what was going to happen there. Anyway.
Yeah. This is pretty damn good writing so far.
Unless Brandon deaded.
Unless Brandon dead.
Is Brandon dead pallet?
Yeah.
The rumor come out.
Does Brandon is dead pallet? Grandma shut the scrapbook and placed it on her coffee table. It was as if it had been part of the room all along. That's a good touch.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
Back in the motel that evening, my brain was buzzing again. It was filled with burrowing mites. Mixed emotions competed for my attention. Mostly I was in awe of this new avenue of rich family lore. I never saw it coming. It was as if I had just been plugged into a network I'd been disconnected from at birth. There was confusion and a little anger at having been kept in the dark about this.
And angry.
But also, was it really any of my business? I was kept in the darkness. All I could see, all around me. Well, it was now. As I left the apartment, Grandma had asked me to let her know if I found anything more about Sean in the storage unit. I guess maybe more from Sean or related to Sean? Beneath her nervous exterior, there was a lot of love. I wanted to bring her some closure if I could. All right.
I spent the night reading through the papers in the box. The parade of dates and case numbers stood in cold contrast to the smiling photos from the afternoon. They were the other side of the coin, parents addicted, jailed, or dead, leaving their children to the care of strangers, money in, money out. Doctors, therapists, school, achievements, pitfalls, all that I see imprisoning me, everything around me, numbers printed in ink and signed for. It wasn't all so impersonal. There were several behavioral notes and observations by school guidance counselors. I also found a painfully thorough police report of the bite of 87, suicide by hanging of Jeremy William Schneider.
Rob Schneider plays a teenager.
Rob Schneider is dead.
Rob
That's
Schneider
it.
is dead. We killed him. This is a snuff film, rated PG.
No
No mention of
do?
Sean.
No mention of Sean, sorry. Abysmii, what would you do if you turned on the TV and there was a commercial on immediately when you turned on the TV and it goes, Rob Schneider is dead, and then it just goes on to a next thing like a show?
I would applaud and
Wow!
say, yay.
Damn! You'd
I
say,
want Scott Cawthon on his deathbed.
yes, he could go join Scott Cawthon in hell, says Abysmii. Fuck. Rob Schneider plays Scott Cawthon, creator of Five Nights at Freddy's and Bible Slots.
Backdoor Bible slots.
Wait, what?
Yes. I kept at it for hours without telling. I just want to, that paragraph was really good.
Yeah.
It was just very, very imaginative and very easily communicable of what it's trying to get across to the reader. Like, it's just, oh man, very powerful. That's all I wanted to say. I kept at it for hours without feeling the time go by. Around 10 o'clock, my concentration was broken by the sounds of shouting and running somewhere above me. Becoming aware of my surrounding again, I caught sight of a vehicle peeling out of the lot. It seemed as good a time as any to end my day, and I wondered if, for the guest above me, the night had just begun.
Someone else's story. It's linking into someone else's story.
Good shit.
You little colluding bastards. Getting together in secret to hook your stories together. I see what you're doing. Fuck you. It was already past 10 a.m. when I woke Thursday morning. I kicked myself for sleeping in late. No free time for me. After another splendid breakfast burrito and a glass of orange juice, I was ready to get to work. Orange juice and a burrito?
The orange juice burrito bonanza.
I did the orange juice dance from Fortnite while eating a burrito.
Back at Unit 23, I knelt on the floor for the cross. Box cutter in hand.
I cut the stigmata into my palms with the box cutter.
Ready to take in all that was left to see, imprisoning me. There were several more boxes of clothes. One of these stood out as being maternity tops. I packaged these boxes in the back passenger seat to take them to the Salvation Army. Easy.
Hey, easy. Now. Here's some maternity tops, bitches. Yeah. Boom, making it rain maternity tops.
They call me maternity top Meryl.
That's awful. Why do they call you that? What the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
They call me that because I'm the quickest hand in the West. It's not. It doesn't connect very well.
Anyway,
it's just a guy in like normal cowboy chaps and like a cowboy hat with a holster and like a gun on each side. But he's also just wearing like an ill-fitting maternity top.
I got a bun in the oven.
Yeah, he's pregnant too. He's male and preg.
So what'll you have to drink? Nothing. I got a kid to think about now. God, could we get that? Actually, would be like some Sundance Film Festival shit. Is like a period piece taking place in the West about some cowboy that insists that he's pregnant. Like, he got kicked in the head. Now he thinks he's pregnant.
And it's just played by Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, there you go. Or Rob Schneider. His comeback tour de force.
It's just, yeah, we're really aiming to get Ryan Gosling on this. You can have Rob Schneider.
I am the baby driver. Anyway.
Next, I picked up a box that rattled.
Snakes.
I picked up a box that had rats in it with thumbs up. Building toys and a few untidy clay sculptures that had hardened decades ago. Not all of them were in one piece. I found another box of papers. This one only had things regarding my grandparents. There were health records, insurance papers, mortgage papers, contracts, and records of various sorts.
Lots and lots of receipts from pet shops for rats. Grandpa has this very strange hobby.
No point in having foster kids. Why can't we just have foster rats? I don't get it. Some were things I wish I'd had back when I moved them.
I moved some things, and now I wish I hadn't.
Oh, so
I made some financial transactions that didn't have the proper supporting documentation, and now I wish I hadn't.
Boy, there's a real horror story for you. Post that on No Story.
Do it.
You do it. You came up with it.
No.
The contents of the final box put a lump in my throat. The box contained a lump, which I accidentally swallowed. The contents of the final box put a lump in my throat. It was an Atari 2600 system with a few games. I spotted Adventure, Space Invaders, and Missile Command. No Bubble Bobble, because that was for NES, before closing the box again. After that, I didn't feel so much like touching anything. I decided I'd come back for the rest the next day. All right.
Not feeling like touching anything is such a 2020 mood.
Yeah. Fucking 20-als.
20-als. The next stop was the Public Health and Human Services office between the 2nd and 3rd Avenues. There was only one woman in the office, Danielle, but there wasn't much office to be manned. Well, why would there be if there's only one woman in the first place? She looked to be in her mid-30s with curly brown hair and round frame glasses that gave her an appearance like a mouse.
Fuck, she was giving a fucking thumbs up!
No!
For the next half hour, I stationed myself at the photocopier while Danielle ran documents for me. She just kept looking back with her thumb up. She seemed to know exactly where to find everything. I wondered if she always worked alone.
By the time I'd gotten the clothes donated and myself back to the Fleming Plaza, it was a little after 1. I hauled my box, a new folder of photocopies, into Inspector Moo-Moo's and tucked myself into a table. As I took in the decor, I allowed myself a smile. It looked like I'd been doing my detective work in the right place. In truth, I was here for the naked coffee, and I asked the young waitress to keep it coming.
Everybody's hitting on this poor waitress in every story. I spent hours pouring coffee over the papers. No, I spent hours...
What does it mean?
There must be a secret message. Nope, never mind. I spent hours poring over papers and making calls to numbers Danielle had scribbled down for me. I'll spare the details. The bottom line was that, while there was definitely record of Sean being placed with my grandparents, there was absolutely nothing after that. Okay, Abysmii, as a lawyer, you'll have to see if this passes the sniff test of truth. No follow-up of any kind, and no recollection by any state employee. By my 4th cup of coffee, I was starting to get concerned. Jittery, but also concerned. Sure, things like this slip through the cracks on TV, but people don't just disappear from your grandparents' care, right? Reluctantly...
Considering the fact that social child services is criminally underfunded, absolutely this happens all the time.
Okay. It passes the Abysmii sniff test.
There
Reluctantly, I packed up to head out again. The only lead I had left was Grandpa.
At the door to his room inside the Care and Comfort Home Services, I paused and took a deep breath. Grandpa had been abrasive in my past experience with him so far, but certainly not mean. Nothing to fear. After a hefty coughing from the other side, I knocked on the door and entered. The room was white, in a white room with a white grandpa.
In a white room with white grandpas at the station.
The room was white, but there were enough homely touches to keep it from looking too sterile. Grandpa lay on the bed, looking at me seductively.
Ooh woo, he said, noticing my bulge. What?
Looking on the bed 1 degree removed from the comfortable under a mauve hand-crocheted woolen afghan from his wife. What a hipster.
Mm-hmm. He had a man bun.
Hey, bro.
Is this cup of vitamins locally sourced, or?
Can you hand me my vape? Vape box?
Is this a free trade, dead rat?
I only eat rats with thumbs up. He seemed both big and small. Decades of roughness at odds with the body demand for rest. Here and there, a blood vessel wriggled visibly under the skin.
He's full of worms.
Wait a minute. This isn't my grandpa. This is just a bunch of worms.
They're all wearing little nurses' hats glued on. They all go wriggling everywhere.
Yes, what is it? He growled. First, I broke the news about the Fleming Storage Unit's impending closure. I expected a lecture about going through his things without permission, but he must have understood the urgency of the situation. I was met with only a harumph. I gave him a full report of the condition of the unit, the rat, the thumbs up, the boxes, the bed frame. Hey, you don't need that, right? Harumph!
Wait a minute. You found a dead rat giving a thumbs up in my storage unit? Oh my God, when I left it there, it was waving hello! Bum bum bum. Nah, I already got...
Giving thumbs up in my storage unit? More likely than you think.
You know what they say? You swallow 8 rats giving a thumbs up every year while you're sleeping. You're never more than 20 feet from a rat giving a thumbs up. Oh, fuck, this is so stupid. Oh, listen, God.
Not every episode has to be high art. Every once in a while, we can just have an episode that's just fucking stupid.
You can't tell me that if you saw a rat giving a thumbs up in a museum of art, you can't tell me that it would seem out of place. That is high art. Come on. All right, so the granddaughter just asked if he needed the bed frame, and the grandpa says, "Nah, already got me a bed." Fair enough. There was a silence while I thought about how to proceed. I decided to just go for it. "Grandpa, what happened to Sean?" He moved to sit up, but a coughing fit put him back down. "Ah, fuck!" He concluded the cough. "There's no trace of him in the unit." "Course not. The agency doesn't have a record of shit happens." Grandpa... Okay.
"Hey, you listen," he grumbled. "You don't have any kids, not yours, not anyone else's. Ungrateful bastards, nothing but trouble. You're not an exception." He feebly pointed at me, giving me another cough. "Bringing up all that shit." My fists clenched. Fuck. What's the
Arthur?
meme? Arthur.
Yeah. Like Caillou.
Thank you. Yes.
Would a grandfather really say this on the internet?
My fists clenched. I thought about my grandfather being a Nazi for having a different opinion from me, but then I released my fists and didn't punch him.
My fists clenched, but this was no time to argue. "What happened, Grandpa?"
My fist clenched, unable to make a thumbs up like the rats I keep seeing in my sleep.
I clenched my thumb within my fist to keep it from rising forward. Something had come over me. Oh my God! Somebody write an SCP or RPC article about a dead rat giving a thumbs up, and people can't resist giving it a thumbs up back. That's the whole thing. That's it.
That's great. No, I do love that. Oh man, I'm fucking losing it, guys. I'm so tired.
I can't fucking focus.
Losing what? What do we have to begin with here?
No, the fucking between the rats and the tired, it's just fucking grilling me.
Between the Rats and the Tired, a soap opera starring Brandon.
I want to reiterate that this is a good story, and we're doing it a disservice by our stupid bullshit.
This is probably the best story I've ever read about a rat giving a thumbs up.
I was going to say this is so far the best Fleming Storage Unit story I've read. So far, not including mine, which I have a very high opinion of.
What about Flamethrower Bike? Remember that?
That was Gonzo, and I love it, but this is so far the most emotionally impactful. His eyes rested on some point above my shoulder as he spoke. That good-for-nothing was always staying out late, wouldn't tell us where he was, always blowing through his money, and he didn't see it, but I ain't no goddamn fool. That day he was shouting up a storm and threatening us both. I'd had enough. Was going to put him in his place, but as soon as it came to blows, Annie fell to the floor.
I said, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
He had a hard look on his face. As soon as I knew she was safe, I tossed that bastard out onto the street where he belonged. And that's that.
I waited for him to say more, but he didn't. I let go of the breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. That's it? He just left? Didn't anyone come to check on him? Something? That's all I got to say. Grandpa laid his head on the pillow and wouldn't look at me again.
He started suffocating himself.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Peace, bitches.
My brain was buzzing again in total disbelief. My mouth was open, my knees weak. I felt speechless.
No. DP, come on. His mouth was wide open. Or her mouth, I'm sorry. I misgendered the protagonist.
Do we know the gender of the protagonist?
Yep, she's the granddaughter.
Yes, bro. Yeah, you're right. Listen, men can be granddaughters too. I felt speechless, but I needed to speak. Hey, I began. It's been a long time meant to meet you. Don't forget just how I met you. Okay. Hey, I began hesitantly. That's not fair. Grandma wants to know what happened to Sean. Just because you feel like that. Is Sean purple guy?
Fuck.
I swallowed.
I swallowed and let myself lose what little cool I had left.
And you think you got the short end of the stick, but Grandma loves those kids, I think. Hey, I think she's got more out of it than you can understand.
Grandpa chuckled, a nasty rasping that turned into a cough. She sure did get something out of it, he said without looking up. More than she'll ever know.
What the fuck? I stormed out of the room. I was confused and disgusted by this old man. I don't know, he didn't really say anything that terrible.
Yeah.
I am often confused and disgusted by old men. Not by anything they say or do, just by virtue of, being an old man.
Oh, gross.
How are you alive?
I'm 45.
Oh, God.
I'm 27, what? I was confused and disgusted by this old man, and I wanted nothing more to do with him for the moment. It was time to get the rest of the boxes. The sooner the storage unit business was over, the better. On the drive back to Fleming, my flurry of feelings settled one by one. Eventually all I had left were questions, but there were no leads left.
I opened the sliding metal door one last time and unloaded the remains of Grandma into the box. Unloaded the remaining boxes into the back seat. As I did, I took a closer look through all of my grandparents' documents. There were medical records from the time my grandma was in the hospital.
God! I just got it.
For her heart attack.
I just got it.
Pulled them out. I saw a loose paper tucked inside.
Okay, how many of you have figured out what the fuck?
I already had.
I'm pretty drunk, so no, I haven't.
Oh, man. Okay, anyway. Abysmii, get?
Okay. I read the medical records first. It wasn't just a simple heart attack. Grandma had an undiagnosed birth defect which had weakened the tissues of her heart, and the heart attack itself just decimated the organ. she would have needed an emergency transplant to survive. Oh.
Yeah.
DP, that when did you think that, DP?
From the moment that the grandpa was like more than she'll ever know, and immediately Brandon's sex brain is just like fucking
shit.
incest, and then I realized, oh no, it's kill the thing for the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
The MacGuffin.
Damn.
All right. The loose paper was some other kind of report. It was on the hospital letterhead, but it read almost like a police report. The evening after it was determined that a transplant was needed, a candidate appeared out of the blue. Dead on arrival, a young white male.
A young Third Reich.
The entire Third Reich arrived at the hospital. That's what you do. Is if you don't want the kid to arrive, so what you do is you kill him, and then after he's dead, just tattoo a swastika on his forehead, and no one will ask questions. Yeah.
Kind of deserved it.
Yep. Dead on arrival, a young white male, late teens, long back hair. Fuck! Trying to give reverence to this paragraph, but it ain't gonna work. He had apparently been the victim of a car accident. A medical examiner, however, noted that the word accident may not have been accurate. It appeared that the boy's lower body had been driven over more than once.
Ooh.
He bled out. His organs weren't still in great condition. Nobody had seen how the boy arrived at the emergency room, and the body had never been identified. So not even identified, so that's how we explain why nobody knew what happened to him. Okay.
Just ran over his head so many times. Just boof, boof, boof.
Ka-thunk, ka-thunk.
Thunk, thunk. Sound of dead child. Grandma got the young man's heart that very night. Emotionally exhausted, I shut the door to the storage unit for one last time. I slammed the car door on the boxes of toys, games, records, and the pile of cleaning supplies tucked on the floor. All of the Clorox wipes.
Mm-hmm. So now we know why the cleaning supplies were there.
Oh, man. My back seat full of memories. The good, the bad, the ugly, and none of them mine. I drove to my grandmother's apartment. There was nothing in the world I wanted more than a moment to sit on the couch with a glass of lemonade.
Mm-hmm. The lemonade is people. That's the reveal.
Soylent yellow.
Solid yellow, made of a fellow. All
Damn. Right. Okay, that was good.
That was good.
Good story.
Who wants to make fun of it? Let's go.
I think we made fun of it enough.
we didn't so much make fun of it as when, hey, what if this random thing was stupid? And we just, ran with that.
What if this random thing was stupid? The entire premise of the Fear Fiction podcast from start to finish.
I do love how episodes that aren't off the rail, we always end up with a story that's just a shitter, and then we get a really good story, and it's no one will ever find out the story's good because we just shitted it up.
Yeah. Oh no, there's a rat giving me a thumbs up in the junkyard. Oh my god.
Hey Arnold, you gotta go get that rat and take him out the junkyard.
Did you just call me Arnold? What the fuck is going on? Where am I? What year is it? Is this the Mandela effect?
I don't know why I conflated Fat Albert and Hey Arnold.
Oh my god, my head is a football.
Oh god, Lois. It's a rat giving a thumbs up.
Oh god. No. Oh god, oh fuck, oh Jesus.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Hey guys, before we continue to the plugs section of the video, please allow me to take a few minutes to tell you about our sponsor, Spooky Sweets Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer. Before you skip this ad, please remember that we here at the Fear Fiction Podcast bet pretty hard on our YouTube success, and these short ad segments are the only thing keeping our families from starving to death on the sidewalk and being buried anonymously in a mass grave. We hired an editor, a thumbnail artist, an announcer, and a variety of high-class escorts, only to have the monetization rug pulled out from under us due to evil corporations who wanted to control our content. Now, on to our corporately controlled content. Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer is the super cool matching and jumping game that allows you to identify simple colors and battle scary monster bosses. Like this frightening fellow, the Gum Ghoul.
All will submit to the Gum Ghoul.
Hey Dead Palette, have you tried Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer?
Yes.
What was your favorite part?
The fun.
My favorite thing about Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer is that it's completely free and available for all iDevices. iPhone, iPad, Android, whatever. Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer is everywhere.
I will play the game.
Hey Abysmii, you seem a little down today. Are you suffering from crippling depression?
I am suffering from crippling depression.
Good! Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer is the only candy-based ghost-catching mobile game that also offers in-app therapeutic counseling with vetted experts in the field of mental health.
Express your innermost feelings to the Gum Ghoul.
Wow, Abysmii, now you understand that you're still trying to live up to the expectations set by your older cousin who works for NASA. Man, you're looking happier already.
I am
Not
suffering from crippling depression
anymore. Use Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer to dress up your character and style their hair. With over 12,000 accessory options to unlock, Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer is the ultimate fashion and dating game. Which hottie or hunk harem member will you pick to marry?
The Gum Ghoul wishes to gum on your glasses.
Download Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer today from your app store of choice. Tons of free content, all in return for filling out a simple and innocuous questionnaire. What a deal! Spooky Sweet's Creepy Candy Glitter Graveyard Puzzle Platformer is a product of Imposing Industrial Direct Data Mining and Manipulation Incorporated, a proud partner of chilling Chinese descent-dismissing mega monster, social stomping, protest-preventing, propaganda-producing thermonuclear threat, Tencent.
Early 2000s Blink-182.
Oh, God.
Just go relive that shit.
No.
If you're my age, which is 31, and that was your fucking childhood, and you were a suburbanite, and that's what you thought the world was, basically exemplified of. Early 2000s Blink-182. Yeah.
I hate modern Blink-182 because they are still they're still trying to be the voice of the youth. So they're like, I met a girl, she said her name was Susan, now she's Steven, and I can't even. And it's like, what? That's not politically appropriate.
Okay. Answer me honestly. Is the current Diant word good?
Define good.
I like
listening to them.
Is it fun to listen to?
It's fun as fuck to listen to. It's not good.
I want to like their last album, whatever this incarnation is, but it's weird, dude.
Yeah.
They feel very tired, and it sucks, and I don't mind it. I hope their next incarnation is just like a fucking chill step, lo-fi hip-hop thing where they can just fucking relax, because they're very tired.
I like listening to things that are just fun or funny to listen to, and if you ask me if they're good, I wouldn't be able to say that, but like Little Big. I like Little Big.
Have you listened to Igor?
No.
Okay. Maybe I'll link you some Igor.
Is it good?
I love it. I think it's great, especially the latest album. Latest album's fucking album of the year, in my opinion.
DP, what do you listen to?
I listened to that Oliver Trees shit you sent us.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
DP is like, I listen to the rustling of the wind through the trees on cold October nights as I stand with my acetone and my toned ass. I don't know.
Hey, Acetone is one of the best tracks from the Crystal Method. Just saying.
That's the name of the game.
It came full circle.
Name of the game.
Came full circle. Back to old music.
So that's our plug this week. Sum 41.